All right, so today we're going to start talking about the male reproductive system, and this is going to be a two-part lecture because we're going to have to finish it again tomorrow. So you guys should already have notes on male anatomy, and don't forget that your quiz is going to be Monday on the male reproductive anatomy, and you can expect the format for that quiz to be basically the same as what you saw the format for this quiz with the cross-sectional view or the mid-sagittal view. And I'm not going to put the cross-section of the testicle on there, even though you do have to draw that in your notebooks tonight. I want to address one of the objectives up here to identify the essential versus the accessory organs of the male and female. And I'm not sure if I elaborated enough on that when I brought it up before. The difference between an essential organ and an accessory organ in the reproductive system is the essential organs are the things that are essential for furthering the species. So specifically, it's the gonads, okay? It's going to be the gonads, either the ovary or the testes are going to be your essential organs, because that's where you get your gametes. And without the gametes, there's never going to be any offspring. So those are essential. Accessory organs are going to be the organs that help to aid in fertilization and childbirth, but they aren't essential. Now, that's not to say that if you don't have a womb, you can have a child, because you yourself can't have one. But if you make eggs, but you just don't have a uterus, then you could theoretically, at this point now, we have the capabilities to take an egg from you and put it in a surrogate and fertilize it, and then you could have children. Okay. So I just want to make sure that you guys understand that's one of our objectives for this section, is to understand the difference between an accessory organ and an essential organ. So if you think of accessories for an outfit, right? This morning I ran out of the house and I had, my cute outfit on, and I had my shoes, and then all of a sudden I got in my car and I went, oh my God, I forgot one of my accessories. Well, I was still dressed. I had the essential part, my clothes on, but I, thank goodness, had a backup accessory in my car, and so I was able to put my earrings in. That's why they're an accessory. They help the outfit, but they aren't the outfit. So the outfit is essential. There for a fashion reference. Okay, so I think we've already seen this slide before in class where we looked at the function. The overall function of the male and female reproductive system is the same: to make gametes, and then for the males to get the gametes to the female, and then the female has to receive the gametes and then grow the baby. So we're going to look at the male reproductive system here, and we've got a cross-section. The diagram down there on the bottom should be, this diagram is basically what you've drawn, and these are all the structures that you're going to have to know for your quiz. We tried the quiz with a GoFormative application this time. How did that go, you guys? What did you think? GoFormative?
I just don't like how when you click on the diagram, it doesn't, when you answered it already, it doesn't let you know that it's already answered. Like, it stays the same. You know what I mean?
Okay, so the color doesn't change on the diagram to let you know that you've already answered it. Okay. All right, so if you don't go in sequence, you might miss one. If you didn't go 4, 5, 6. Okay, it's the first time I've tried it. So you guys have all used Socrative before, right? And did you like Socrative better? Yes, no, maybe so? Okay. So you guys can I'll continue to try new things. The nice thing about GoFormative is I can take a picture of the diagram, and it was really easy to upload it and put it in. All right, so getting here. So we have the testes. The testes are here. Okay. And then the ducts that transport the sperm, which it comes on up and out and around and then out the end of the penis. And then we have, and I'll get rid of that because then it kind of obliterates my little picture. And then we have accessory structures, which are going to create the liquid. And see, now you don't have to take pictures of all the lectures because this is all going to be available for you on YouTube. And please subscribe to my channel and like and leave me comments. See, I didn't forget to say that this time. So the semen is going to be the fluids that are created by all of your glands along with the actual sperm. And the sperm are actually a very small proportion, small amount. Then we have the penis, which has two purposes. It kind of does double duty. It is part of the urinary system and is part of the reproductive system. So damage or loss of the penis, and you have to make sure that you have a way for a male to urinate, for urine to come out of the body. But you can live without a penis. Maybe not enjoy life as much, but you will still live. I know. There have been those horrible cases where, men have been mutilated. It's true. Well, you guys have heard about it. It's horrible. All right. So, testicles, testes, singular, testicles, plural. So, they are paired structures analogous to the female's ovaries. They're located in a sac of skin called the scrotum, which forms from the skin that was going to be the labia in the female. And they have to be kept at a temperature 1 degree at least, or 3 degrees Fahrenheit cooler than the rest of the body. And so based upon the temperature of your surroundings, your testicles, and your all body temperature, the testicles have to be able to descend lower away from the body. And if it's really cold, they have to be able to come up back towards the body. So it's really important. If the testicles are not kept at the proper temperature, then sperm die. So this is one very drastic way to, have male birth control. There was a group of guys that sat, I think they were from Norway, and they sat on these special stools that didn't have a seat, and they descended their testicles into a bath of ice water. And they would sit with their testicles in ice water for 20 or 30 minutes every day. And they wanted to see if they could actually lower their sperm count down to nothing. And they were successful. And so they said, hey, this is a new form of male birth control. So when they stopped with the ice water baths, then their testicles started functioning just fine again, and they started sperm production. But another thing, if you're really athletic and you're always wearing, for example, cyclists who wear bike shorts for hours and hours every day, because the bike shorts keep the testicles up close to the body, that also reduces their sperm count. If you spend a lot of time in a jacuzzi, that's going to basically heat up the testicles, and that will reduce your sperm count. So that kind of answers the boxers or brief question forever and ever. Boxers are better because it allows your testicles to be nice and cool when they need to be cool, and allows them to move around. Okay? So each testicle is surrounded by this tough membranous covering called the tunica albuginea. A tunic is a covering or a coat. Like in fashion, a tunic is a little coat. It's another name for a coat. And then albuginea is white. So this is a white membrane, and each testicle is wrapped in its own separate membrane. And so if you look at this diagram right here, you see there is a wall, a septum, right down the middle, so that if one testicle becomes diseased, for example, with testicular cancer, it won't automatically infiltrate the other testicle. So that's kind of a nice safeguard there. Each testicle has 200 to 300 lobules, or lobes, little lobes. And inside of those little lobes, we have our seminiferous tubules. Right here, we see that. And so the seminiferous tubules, tiny miles and miles and miles of tubes, and this is where the sperm are actually formed. So this diagram here is a cross-section through a testicle. And then here, this is a really close microscopic view through a seminiferous tubule. And all the little yellow tails that you see, those are the actual tails of the mature sperm. And the head of the sperm is going to be embedded in this layer here. So they're not swimming, they're not activated yet, they're just sitting there waiting until they completely form and complete maturation is taking place, and then they can be excreted during ejaculation. Here we have the structure of a sperm. Sperm, smallest cell in the human body. It's basically a head with just a nucleus inside of it, and then a packet of enzymes in this in the head end called the acrosome. And the purpose of those enzymes is to, when it meets the egg, that packet of enzymes ruptures and it actually dissolves its way through the outer coating of the egg so that it gets in. And then once one sperm gets in, then the egg develops this special coating on the outside so that no other sperm can penetrate. You have a middle piece here, okay, a middle piece in the sperm, and there we have lots of mitochondria. Why do you guys think there'd be lots and lots of mitochondria in that region? Because you need power, you need energy. So you need lots of organelles that are going to break down glucose and make ATP, because you've got this tail here, a flagella, that has to just whip like crazy to propel that sperm on a very long, difficult trip up through the female's reproductive tract. And most of the spermies don't even make it, poor guys, most of them. And then one of them, that when they get up to the top and they're at the fundus of the uterus, half of them go the wrong way. Half of them go down the fallopian tube and there's no egg waiting for them. Certain death somewhere in the woman's abdominal cavity. Others are attacked and destroyed by white blood cells along the way. Some of them turn around, get so scared to jump back out. No. Some of them embed themselves into the wall of the uterus. Okay? So, of the millions of sperm that are ejaculated, only about 300 or 400 ever even make it up to the fallopian tubes, and then only 3 or 4, well, I know, and it only takes one. But if you don't have enough to start out with, there's never going to be enough to survive. So that's why not taking drugs and taking care of your bodies, guys, does impact your fertility. Because if you do things to your body that damages the testicles chemically, or maybe radiation, you know, why do they put the lead sheeting over you when you're out getting your, you know, when they're taking x-rays of your teeth, they lay that mat over your chest, and then down, it goes down to the middle of your thighs, right? And it's got lead in it. It's that heavy apron that they put on top of you. They're protecting your internal organs and your gonads. That's why it goes down to the middle of your thigh, guys. Your gonads from radiation. Because if they irradiate them, then they can damage the DNA that's inside of your sperm. So we want to protect that. All right, so spermatogenesis, the formation of sperm, takes between 65 to 75 days. They're made inside that seminiferous tubules upon stimulation by FSH. So FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. Where have we heard of that one before? When the female, with the maturation of the egg, what causes the egg to go through its first step of meiosis 1? Same thing here. Meiosis is stimulated, and here's a nice diagram, and there's a nice one in your book showing the steps of meiosis. You make, guys, if you're tired, this is why. You're making about 300 million sperm a day. Okay, so next time you're laying on the couch and your mom says, you are so lazy, you're just laying around, you're not doing everything, you can just say, Mom, I am making 300 million sperm every day. Now, most of those sperm are never going to see the light of day. Most of them are going to just die and be reabsorbed by your body and never to be used. Because if they're not ejaculated, they just eventually get reabsorbed. You're not using them. Okay? Testosterone is also made by the testicles. The testicles are also involved in the production of the hormone testosterone. And I'm going to have to end it right there, and I will post this tonight. So remember, like and subscribe and leave me some comments. Bye.